What is up, guys? It's your boy Dominic from Quickie Boys, and in today's video we have some good news, bad news, and I got a package. So a lot to do today, so let's get to it. Alright guys, the good news, let's start off with that. The good news is me and David are looking to make big moves right now, and this little Miata right here, you guys can see this little piece of junk right here, Miata, we are going to try to buy hopefully tomorrow, and there'll be a continuation of this video, and that would be obviously the next video after this one. So please just hold on for that. This should be a big project for both of us. Personally, I'm buying this car for myself just to get the motor out of it, so I can actually build that motor and throw it in the Miata, and then we'll probably swap my motor that's currently in the Miata into this one, and then we are going to be making very mischief things with this Miata right here. And so I'm messaging the guy, he literally just texted me, and the only problem with this thing is the guy doesn't know exactly where he has the title. So I gave him a little bit of an ultimatum. I said, if you can find the title today, I will come tomorrow and I will pick up the car cash in hand. And so right now he's probably rustling through shit trying to find it and everything right now. So I am really hyped for this right now, and I really cannot wait, and I really hope this guy finds a title, because this will be a very dangerous winter, needless to say. And so I cannot wait for that. That's the good news. The bad news is the Honda, as we promised, if we didn't get 500 likes, we'd get rid of the Honda. Today is December 2nd. Yesterday was December 1st. That was the deadline for the 500 likes to boost the Honda, and we didn't meet it. So we didn't meet our 500 likes, so we're not boosting the Honda. So last night I sold the Honda for 900 bucks. And so this 900 bucks is buying me a junk ass Miata, and all I really want is the motor, to be honest with you. And so that's just basically what it's gonna buy me. I'm really hyped for this shit. This is gonna be dope. Either which way, I'm gonna have another Miata, and I'm always gonna have spare parts and stuff like that. The only thing is with this one is the title. That's the biggest thing. So if this guy can find the title, we are picking it up tomorrow, and there's gonna be a continuation on this video, or I might just make it another video. I'm not sure just yet, but stay tuned for that. That's gonna be awesome. Bad news, Honda's gone, guys. Honda's gone. No more boosted Honda idea, so that's completely out of the equation. But the other good news is I got my package from X5 Racing. This is a shifter rebuild kit. Shifter rebuild kit, basically, in a sense, is replaces all the old bushings, worn out bushings in your shifter turret. Some people call it turret. I believe that's the correct term for it. So it basically replaces all that, and I'll be showing you guys today on how to replace it, what to use, how to do it, and everything like that. So let's open this box up real quick, and I'll show you guys what's inside, and we'll go from there. So we are just going to say fuck it and just cut the shit out of this thing. And we're just gonna open it up, and I'll show you guys exactly what's inside. So right here we have the little boot with the adhesive, or actually not the adhesive, but the gasket right underneath, so no fluids come out and everything like that, which is happening to me right now, so that's not important. Right here we have X5 Racing. These are all the parts right here you're ever gonna need to rebuild it. Besides the large boot, if you guys ever seen it before, there is also a large boot that goes over the little boot after everything goes in. For me, that boot's perfectly fine. I didn't see a point to order it because this was kind of somewhat expensive either which way. So we got, of course, a dope ass sticker from X5 Racing, so that's definitely going on the Miata. And right here, this is their racing version, I guess, of the kit. So basically what it comes with is, instead of this being plastic or polyurethane or whatever they make it out of, I think Delrin or other plastics and stuff, this is actually brass. So this is going to be a lot, going to take a lot of the play out in a sense, and hopefully really make this a nice fit and everything. And I really can't wait. I've never had this before. I've done the shifter rebuild kit many of times before. I do it maybe every 6 months, maybe every year, just to refresh it and everything like that. I really like a nice, good shifter. So, so yeah, this is gonna be definitely new to me, and I really can't wait how this turns out. And these are just basically all the wavy washer right here. These little pieces and plastic pieces and everything like that are all just extra sections that just go in there and everything like that. Make sure everything stays put. Alright guys, so now we are in the Miata, right? And because I have a short console, I modified it to cut it in half, made it a short console. It's going to be a lot easier for me. If you do have a long console, you are going to have another bolt right here, and I believe another bolt right back there. So you're going to have to open up your little center console right there and take those bolts out. But right over here, this section, this just pulls right out. Then you have that little Phillips screw. Before you unscrew that, you unscrew this, which I personally like putting Teflon tape on. It just makes it go in a lot smoother and doesn't let it spin out when I don't want it to spin out while I'm shifting and stuff like that. So that's out. This is a weighted shift knob. This is a short shifter right here. So I honestly just hope it fits, the kit fits with the short shift. So after you unscrew the shift knob, you gotta get this Phillips screw right here.
You just unscrew this little Phillips.
Like so. Take that out. I'll usually just drop it back in there. This will all lift back up. Right here, this is the big boot I was talking about. And then right over here, you honestly don't even have to unplug this. I never do. I'll just shift it over usually. Like that. So there it is. This is the big boot, 4 10mm bolts.
I lost the screw for this one, so I just kind of use same threading and everything, still 10mm, but a little smaller. So I just put a washer on there, and 10mm right there.
This all comes right off. As you can see, this grease right here is all coming from, let me put this right down there, this broken boot right here. And I'm getting a transmission smell, and this is where the smell is coming from. So that's also how you kind of fix up that little issue. So right here, we also have these 3 10mm bolts.
You just really gotta be careful when you're tightening these back up. Or you're unscrewing them, you don't want them too tight, and you don't want them obviously too loose, because then you're not gonna get a full seal and you're gonna have transfluid slowly leaking out of it. So never a good thing to have it too tight or too loose. You do not want to strip it, because then you're gonna have a really bad day. Back in there.
Alright, so I highly recommend gloves. This is going to be a messy job, especially if your boot was ripped at one point. So that's a completely broken boot. That goes trash. Then the shifter literally just lifts up. That brass section is this little section right here at the bottom. Remember, this is a short shifter, so you might have a different setup than I do, especially with an OEM shifter. I could show you guys that. I have my OEM shifter down in my house, so I actually might be able to grab that and show you guys what's the difference and what do they look like. Alright, so here is the old shifter setup. There is not much of a difference. You guys can see. Lengthwise, it's a little shorter. That's about it. It's not much of a short shifter, but it still has really good notchy shifting and everything like that, so it was a good upgrade. Right here, as you guys can see, it has a lot more of a bulky setup right here. This, you're actually gonna have to, when you put your small boot on, you're gonna actually have to lube up this as much as you can just to slide it on there, and to take it off, you're probably gonna have to cut it, to be honest. There you go. As you can see, it came out real easy. I just had the vice grip, tightened up the vice grip a little bit till this actually this plastic piece right here kind of creased a little bit, and then all I did was just pivot and it popped right out. So that's perfect. And then what we can do, slide that piece off, and I'll show you guys how to put this new brass piece in. This new brass piece, personally, just because it is metal on metal, I'm thinking I should just throw some lube on there. I always use full synthetic grease, Mobil 1, because you know Mobil 1 is the shit. Psych! I'm kidding, it's really not the shit, but I just use Mobil 1. I'll just glob that on there, and this will literally slide right in. So there we go, we got that piece all in. All I'm going to do is basically dip the shit out of this in there. You definitely want to lube this. The trans fluid doesn't really get up too high, and doesn't always get up too high whenever you're driving and stuff like that, and actually get to your turn to lubricate these components. So I always recommend definitely lubricating this, just so this has a nice smooth shift. Definitely that, and then we'll just go and put the rest of these boots on once we're actually in the car. So let me lube this puppy up. Alright, the trick for this is vice grips. I've always used vice grips to try to do this. I really haven't seen anyone else use vice grips to do this, but what you basically do is a little bit of a trick, to be honest with you. So what you do is you set the vice grips as a decently wide. So you set them up so that when you clamp on the pin itself, it doesn't take too much to lock. So you have that pivot point on the actual vice grip itself. And then what you do is right here, I already pushed it out a little bit so you guys can see a little better. So right here, you stay on this edge on the outer side, and then you go and you squeeze in on this side on the actual pin itself. And once that leverage comes in from the vice grip, it'll go and it'll knock it out a little more, and you just keep slowly adjusting the vice grip more and more until it pops out, until it's semi-flush with the actual inside of this turret. And then these little rings right here pop out. Makes the job a lot easier. I've seen people use punches and things like that, and I just don't see why you would use a punch when you kind of just use vice grips, or even pliers if you have big enough pliers and you have enough leverage. Definitely give it a shot. But remember, this is aluminum, the turret itself, but these pins are not aluminum. So just make sure you know you don't scrape up something you're not supposed to, or the inside of the turret or something like that. Okay, as you guys can see, I have these bushings lined up how they're supposed to be. So right at the bottom of this turret is supposed to be the curved washer, right? It will take away a lot of the play in a sense, okay? Because it is curved, it is going to have a spring tension on it, so it's always going to have a nice tension, and it's going to keep it from there it goes, from actually having too much play or anything like that. And then we have that one bottom bushing, the U side goes up, and then we have this top bushing right here that clips in. It has the little side clips right there, as you can see, goes all the way around. There's 3 of them, and that goes right on top as well, and that also is curved to dampen a little bit of the play. And then that U section right there goes down, so they kind of go in line with one another. I don't have them in line right now, but in a sense they go in line with one another like that. Okay, so that's how they're always going to sit. So this will go right on top like that, and what you do, you go and you feed it in there. You can lift up on this section, drop down on that section, and make sure it's flush all around. Make sure that one's under the pin, make sure that one is nearing under the pin, because once you push that pin back in, it'll actually sit it back down. So right now is what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this pin back in, and we're just gonna do the same thing we did before and use the vice grips. All you do right here, now you're gonna be squeezing a little bit on the inside right here, and you'll be squeezing on the pin itself, pushing the pin inward. So let's go do that. So you see now, since I had that adjusted, to take it out, let me adjust it a little more. There we go, and the pin went in just a little bit, as you guys can see. So then once more, and then adjust it a little bit, then again. It is a little time consuming. I'm sure there's better ways, so please, in the comments down below, since I do this a lot, in the comments down below, if you guys have an easier way of popping these pins in and out, let me know. But this has been the easiest way I so far have found. That's about it. So, alright, so that pin is all the way in. As you can see, it's flush. It's like that. No scrapes, no scratches, so we're good. And now, so what I'm going to do a little bit is I'm going to grab a rag real quick. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And so just before I put that turret back, or the shifter itself back in, this is what you should have in the final product. This literally just takes 2 seconds to put in. Those little tabs go into the little gaps, and that's about it. So then you would take your shifter, toss it in there. Oops, sorry. Toss it right in there. Make sure it's sitting in there real nice. Then you go and you grab this. Make sure these U sections are sitting downward. Right there. Okay. And that will allow the bushing itself to hold it down. Now, since this is a metal plate right here, as you can see, so that little curve washer will be pointing upwards. Then what I'm gonna do actually real fast, because I didn't do it a second ago, is wipe down this right here. I'm just gonna use my sweater because this is an old sweater anyway, so fuck it. And wipe that down a little bit, just so this gasket itself can actually adhere a little bit better. So last thing you do, you slide this puppy back in. Now you're gonna want to get it as far down as you possibly can, because you definitely want this to have a nice seal to it. So get that as far down as you can. Mine's just gonna keep popping up because it's a short shifter, so it's just gonna keep playing with me, but that'll go in like that. And then you'll put the 3 bolts that we took out in the beginning back in. Especially because this is aluminum, you definitely want to put these in by hand at first. Don't want to just run a gun through it, and then you're gonna have to buy a whole new top section, or at least rethread it. So definitely make sure you put these in by hand in the beginning. Just like that. And then my last one, like that. Alright, and just because there's 3 here, you don't want to tighten them all down all at once, like one at a time, completely tight. You want to kind of go in a little bit of a star pattern as much as you can, kind of when you're doing like tires or something like that. So we're gonna go, just barely snug this one up, just until I feel a little resistance. Then we're gonna hop onto this one, tighten this one up a little bit till I feel a little resistance. Tighten this one up, because you want that metal, because right under this gasket, this rubber right here is actually a metal sheet, and you want that metal sheet with the gasket on the other side of it to sit properly. Definitely want that to sit nice and flush. Alright, so we'll just keep going in a little bit of a circular pattern, tightening it little by little. Don't know the torque spec exactly. Honestly, it just needs to be snug enough. Just don't go ramming this shit on, because you will strip the shit out of it and you're gonna have a bad day. So nice and snug, that's really all you need until you don't really feel this spinning all too much anymore. Use maybe 2 fingers and just pull back, and that's it. You should be good. And then, so what we're gonna do next is grab this rubber boots, throw it on there like that, and what you want to do is actually, mine's a little bit of a weird setup, just because it is a short shifter, so it doesn't have all the same pieces as a normal shifter would. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this plastic off, let this rubber flex a little bit while I'm trying to push it in, like so. So I'm gonna get this all around that inner rubber, just like that. And then I'm gonna take this plastic piece, I'm gonna throw that down in there, and just basically make sure it locks itself around there. Just so I don't get any leaking coming out of the shifter itself, and basically just take the smell out of here in a sense. So this should be good. Alright guys, there's two more things that are very, very important you have to do. You gotta add the sticker. I don't know how I feel about that. Megan Racing, where should I put it? Let's see. Thinking it's gonna give me OCD. So here we go. No, I can't do that. Damn, where should I put this thing? I'm gonna slide it right up here by Megan Racing. And put it dead center. Boom. So now, the real final step is taking this for a test drive, making sure it shifts real nice, making sure you like it. It is gonna wear in a little bit. That brass piece that's in there is gonna take a little while to wear into it, and then after that it'll work perfectly fine. So right now I'm gonna go for a test drive, and I'm gonna let you guys know what I think of that, of this kit with the brass piece in it. Apparently this is the racing kit, so it shouldn't be the most comfortable thing, but it should be enjoyable enough. So I'm gonna go take it for a ride. This shifter rebuild kit is definitely adding a different kind of character into shifting. I personally really love it right now. I really can't wait to actually maybe hit the track or like do a little beating around with this thing. I'm loving it so far. If you guys liked the video, smash that like button. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns or anything like that, please comment down below. I'll answer all the questions I can that I know of. I'm not a guru of this stuff, but I could definitely help you out. I've done a lot of different things, so I could definitely help you guys out. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below, and share the video if you guys really think maybe someone else could maybe get this or something like that. So I'll put the link down in the description below. This is a 1999 6-speed, so not all the kits are exactly the same for a 5-speed or anything of that nature. So this is only specifically for a 6-speed. So if you guys think someone will like it, share it. You never know. So this is Dominic. You're watching Kawiki Boys, and I'm signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully